A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to Primetime News. Today marks International Women's Day.
That's right, Arundhati, and that is why we here at Newsfirst today celebrate the hard work and effort put by women across all boards and ethnicities across the world and here in Sri Lanka. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasmi Atauda.
Yes, and I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
What are the criteria of eligibility to enter Parliament?
වෛශ්‍යාවකට තිබ්බු ප්‍රතිපත්තිය නොතිබ්බ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරු පිරිසක් හිටිය රටක් මේක.
SLFP General Secretary's solution to the party crisis.
එක්කෝ මේක ජනාධිපතිතුමා නතර කරන්න ඕනේ එක්කෝ මේක අගමැතිතුමා නතර කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ඒගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ.
CID searches houses of warranted suspects connected to the bond scam. Sri Lankans landing in the island from South Korea, Iran and Italy to be quarantined at 2 facilities in Batticaloa. Italy decides to quarantine 16 million people. Australia wins Women's T20 World Cup for the 5th time.
T20 World Cup champions!
And now the stories in detail. This year's International Women's Day is celebrated under the theme Women's Courage, Nation's Strength.
Women play a vital role in society as a mother, a daughter, a sister and a grandmother, enhancing the foundation to a stable society. What defines a generation of women? From an estate worker to an entrepreneur who lived through different circumstances and crossed over different hurdles to get to where they are today. The fight for women's rights and justice is shared in a global and regional scale every day, from suffering violence and discrimination, facing gender wage.
Where the women are filled with wisdom and a country which has sustainable development for women, respecting them, would be a very developed and happy nation. On the other hand, I also wish for Sri Lanka that many of these wise women would enter politics, would be in the parliament in 2020 to make a big difference for Sri Lanka.
We have come a long way. The role of a woman in society has significantly changed during recent decades. Women are the key to preserve the human race, and in today's world, the importance of women in society is beyond any suspicion. According to the United Nations, legal restrictions have kept 2.7 billion women from accessing the same choice of jobs as men. Less than 25% of parliamentarians were women as of 2019. 1 in 3 women experience gender-based violence.
As we celebrate women today, let's not forget that as women we have every right to pursue our dreams, to follow our passion, and with hard work, dedication and commitment we can achieve what we want to achieve. There have been opportunities denied to us, but as women we need to fight for our rights. We need to stand up there and fight for equal rights for all. Let us feel empowered. Let us not celebrate Women's Day just today, but let us celebrate the beauty of being a woman every single day of the year, and let us go out there and conquer the world.
A quote by Brigham Young said, quote, "You educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, you educate a generation," unquote. Women are the backbone enhancing this society, and Newsfirst wishes all the women around the globe a happy International Women's Day.
Meanwhile, the national celebration for Women's Day was held in Ratnapura today.
How many women are experiencing difficulties in our country? What jobs are not being done by women? The solution to the poverty experienced by women is to uplift their economic standards. The parliament was dissolved a few days after coming into power due to the election. I did not have enough time to alleviate these problems as the election is fast approaching. Meanwhile, an event was held to commemorate International Women's Day in the Appegama area in Battaramulla under the patronage of Shiranthi Rajapaksa. The event had been organized by the Urban Citizen Organisation.
The topic of female empowerment is being discussed widely across several platforms. I feel that the country and the society can move forward by developing the knowledge, values and skills of women.
Instead of conducting court hearings of cases where women who have fallen prey to violence are being repeatedly abused, what should be done is to formulate laws and bring the suspects before the law. While the case is being heard or while the matter is making rounds on media, a woman is abused several times. Hearings of the case continue even after the retirement and demise of a woman. Meanwhile, a special ceremony was held in Hambantota to felicitate outstanding women.
Children are being abused daily. While Women's Day is celebrated in Sri Lanka, 11 cases of child abuse have been reported. This is better when compared to the figures reported on the other days. We speak about rights and call for equality. However, children are not being protected. The whole country must be made aware of this.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa issued a special statement in lieu of International Women's Day celebrated today.
In his statement, the President expressed a deep sense of gratitude over the role played by women folk and honoured their contribution to society. The statement also said, quote, "As a nation we salute our women. This is attested by social indicators such as literacy rate, social inclusion and life expectancy, where Sri Lankan women are on par with developed countries," unquote. He further added, quote, "I am also very proud of the many achievements and the victories gained by our Sri Lankan women that have done our country proud," unquote. The President says that his administration is committed to creating a platform where Sri Lankan women can contribute to the betterment of our society as an equal player. The statement reads, "We will provide an environment where she will make her own decisions and will be free to reach her aspirations. She will not be subject to any violence or discrimination against her."
Former opposition leader SAJITH says that the country will face losses worth $20 billion by 2025 due to the low participation of women in the labour market. He made these remarks during an event organised in Moratuwa today.
The event was organised by parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra in line with International Women's Day.
Much is spoken about gender equality. However, according to global surveys, our country will incur a loss of $20 million by 2025 due to the reduced participation of women in the labour market. Around 20% of women in the private sector experience salary anomalies between genders. In the foreign employment sector, the participation of women is 34%. Out of that, 80% are employed as domestic servants. Females feel insecure due to sexual violence as they are given low wages and lack of skills. It would be appropriate to say that females are being treated as slaves. According to the 2018 Gender Gap Report, Sri Lanka has been ranked 91st in terms of gender inequality. When speaking about female hygiene, no one comes forward to speak about cervical cancer and urinary tract infections. However, during the presidential election, I made a proposal concerning personal hygiene. We know that the truth will one day win. Scotland has implemented my proposal recently. When we speak about this, they will sling mud at us. However, I wish to say that the Premadasas are not afraid of speaking and implementing the truth. The topic of national security is widely discussed. If parents are protesting demanding justice over the abuse of a girl, what is the level of security in the country?
There was a problem in the recent past. If my husband had not stood straight, I wouldn't have been able to face this situation. I was insulted as I was a woman. That channel is here as well. The brother of the owner of this channel is connected to my father's death. He is now serving a death sentence. Audio tapes involving individuals connected to my father's death are being leaked. This includes the judge who delivered the verdict regarding this case. Audio tapes involving police officers who investigated my father's death are also being leaked. Further, audio tapes of journalists who wrote extensively about this incident were also leaked. Although there were around 124,000 recordings of telephone conversations, only a few recordings are coming out. Demands were then being made to release this person. Now there are no more recordings being released as it was done before February 4th. Mark my words, this will happen when the day of Vesak is nearing. There are two media institutions which are laundry. Where is this country heading, considering the personal objectives that are in play? We handed over our government to them after a 5-year rule on a silver platter. They came into power not because of their strength, but because of our weakness.
අවුරුදු 5කට ගත්ත ආණ්ඩුව රිදී බන්දේ සියදිව තමයි අපි ඒගොල්ලන්ට දුන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන දක්ෂකමක් හින්දා මේ ආණ්ඩුව ගත්ත නෙවෙයි අපේ තියෙන අදක්ෂකම හින්දා මේ ආණ්ඩුව ගත්තේ.
A silent protest was held in Colombo today demanding the arrest of the suspects involved in an alleged child abuse case that is being circulated on social media.
The silent protest was organized by the Organization to Protect Public Rights. We have a serious problem with regard to the investigations. It has been a month and 11 days since I lodged a complaint at the Criminal Investigation Department. Although the CID has obtained a statement of me, they have been unable to find a clue over this case. Some can question as to why we are concerned over this case. I have 4 children. This has happened in Sri Lanka. Through this protest, we ask the security forces to go home on leave if they cannot locate this child.
Details of sexual abuse of a girl by a person named Priyan Manik was included in a leaked phone conversation of former parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayaka. A few days later, businessman named Priyan Pushpakumara released a video on social media denying these allegations. A video of a girl being sexually abused is said to be released to social media after the series of events. On the 27th of February, many civil organizations protested opposite the National Child Protection Authority, demanding for legal action to be instituted against the person responsible for the abuse. On the 6th of this month, Priyan Pushpakumara provided a statement to the National Child Protection Authority. A ceremony to commemorate parliamentarian Ruwan Wijewardene 23rd year in politics was held in Kalutara today.
The event was held under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. A book on the political career of Ruwan Wijewardene was handed over to the President during the event. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa extended his wishes to Ruwan Wijewardene via Skype.
Elect a set of leaders who have a vision to parliament. This country needs leaders who abide by their policies and not politicians who keep changing their policies. Since I came here to speak about policies, I wish to say that certain parliamentarians do not even have the policies that would be followed by a prostitute. This is a country which has had politicians who do not have policies. Just think about those who turned enemies with their colleagues after crossing over, despite eating together and forming a government as one. If they betray their leaders, won't they betray the country? I believe that we need a set of strong individuals to establish a prosperous country. Politicians should not be given room to play with the country. A clean political journey should exist. In order to do so, let us work strongly to build this team which we need. I cannot bear it when anyone else scolds the Rajapaksas. I will keep responding to those allegations. That is in my genes. We need to create a strong parliament for you. As a part of the program to achieve this goal, I wish to convey the message that we will try to win 8 out of 10 seats from the Kalutara district.
Former Minister Ruwan Wijewardene made a revelation about the MCC Compact and foreign intervention before the Mahasangha.
මේක අපි හම්බුනේ දැන් මිලේනියම් චැනල් කෝපරේෂන් එකේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් ඩිරෙක්ටර් ලංකාවට ආවනේ යාතු කියලා එයා ආවිදාන පොන්නත් එක්ක මේ ජීවිත වඩමුට්ටු පවා මෙදටගෙන අරුවම මේ ඉස්කෝලේ එයාගේ දෙවෙනියත් ආවා මේ ඉස්කෝලේ ඒගොල්ලෝ තාම හැංගිලා නැහැ දන්නවා ඔය වෙලේ හරි ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක අරගන්න ගන්න පුළුවන් මෙයාන්දුවෙන් බැරි නම් මෙයාන්දුව පෙරලන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්න පුළුවන් හැමදේම කරනවා ඒක කිතිබ විරෝධතා කුතිම සටන් ඒවත් ඕකේ එකක් ඊළඟට දැන් ඒකම දැන් ගිනික්ක කැලේ ඉස්සරට මම නම් හිතන්නේ මේ ඔක්කොම සමහරව සමහරවිට ඉස්සර නොයිච්ච දේවල් ඊළඟට අපි ආන්දුව ආවම ස්ලෝ වෙනවා කියන්නේ මගියව නියම වෙලාවට යන්නේ ප්‍රමාද ඒ වගේ බොහොම සියුම් මෙහෙයුම් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා සමහර හිඟියන්නේ නැති ඒගොල්ලෝ එන්නේ බොහොම අපි දේශප්‍රේමී පහුගිය දවසක මම දැක්කා ඒකදී අපි මේ ළඟ අන්දුවේ හැම කෙනෙක්ම ඒක ගැන අවබෝධයෙන් වැඩ කරන්නේ පොත පහුගිය දවසක අපිම දෙනවා පොඩි පොඩි ටිප් එකත් ඒගොල්ලොන්ට වාසනාව
Many views were expressed over the controversial MCC compact in the political arena today.
Report on the MCC is being presented today. We asked the government whether they have officially cancelled the MCC agreement. We want to know whether the diplomat related to the MCC agreement is still in Sri Lanka or not. Has the government told them to leave the country or not? Have they informed them officially that Sri Lanka will not sign the agreement that does not require a two-thirds majority? The American diplomats who are working on the MCC agreement are working in government ministries. They are working with the Ministry of Highways and Ministry of Lands. The government is announcing that they are going to sign the agreement after removing the adverse conditions when the general elections are approaching. Are they going to hinder the public by signing the agreement that Harrison and them brought forward? The fact that both these teams are a part of this thieving project is very clear.
Many politicians expressed their views about the MCC agreement before and after the elections. They promised that the agreement will not be signed because it is a hindrance to the nation.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is appointed on the 17th of November. If there is anything to be discussed, do it with this government. We will not take the agreement into consideration. We would like to warn the US that will throw it away. The cabinet has taken the decision to postpone signing the agreement after taking recommendations of the interim committee, which states that the MCC consists of clauses that would harm the sovereignty and the constitution of the country. We will look into all the agreements that is to be signed. By changing a clause or two, the content of the agreement will not change. The government will talk against this now and will sign it after the election. What did they say before the election? Did they say anything about the discussions? The government should announce that they will remove the two deals. If not, Ranil should say that they haven't signed a deal of such sort. Not only have they signed the agreement, they have obtained $10 million for it too.
Now, this topic of the MCC is no stranger to you and I. We've heard so much of debate, so much of discussion, yet no definite answer has been given to us by the government. However, let me take your mind back to a couple of months. During the run-up to this presidential election, certain political factions said that this MCC agreement is detrimental, its effects rather are irrevocable and irreversible. However, they also went to the extent of saying that this specific agreement should be thrown away, ripped apart, burnt and never ever signed. Now, months have passed, we have a new government in place, yet nothing definite or certain has been done regarding this agreement. However, this government has taken a small detour to their approach and appointed a special committee to look into this matter. Now, this would also mean that this committee will look into this agreement and give it a facelift or switch around its words and reintroduce it to us once again. So bold statements were made, but no certain action has been done. So we have to actually keep in mind that whatever written on paper will not change, but the words coming out of a politician will almost always change. So moving on from one controversy to another is the bond scam, which we here at Newsfirst have been extensively covering. So in your latest update, we all know that 10 people were issued arrest warrants, and legal authorities today as well visited their respective residences, but their efforts proved futile as they were not in their houses. However, what we are failing to acknowledge is that the mastermind behind this bond scam is still at large. So here's what Wasantha Senanayake, the convener of the Voice Against Corruption, had to say in this regard.
Why can't President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who said he will bring Arjuna Mahendran from Singapore, people who said they will bring KP from Malaysia and arrest him, bring Arjuna Mahendran? The reason they are not doing that is because they want to protect Ranil Wickremesinghe. This government has no intention of bringing him to Sri Lanka, as the evidence he will provide will be a problem to Ranil Wickremesinghe. When I questioned the former PM about who he has appointed and who is responsible for this, he said that he will take full responsibility. Even though he said that he was not able to present the person who is the main suspect to court nor prevent him from leaving the country.
Now, taking your mind back to the key points that Vasantha Senanayake said was that when Arjuna Mahindran arrived at the COPE committee session, which was then chaired by Duganasekara at that time, he revealed the person, the mastermind, who sort of aided and abetted him to carry out this controversial bond scam. But only a limited number of people who were present at that committee hearing got the privilege of really knowing who it was. Because before the public, before you and I had the opportunity to know who it was, Parliament was dissolved. However, all hope is not lost, because we can still hope that this fugitive governor will be brought back to the country, where he himself, from his own words and his own mouth, will let us know who was behind this bond scam.
Political parties in crisis.
Let's now take a look at the prevailing crisis situation of the political parties and the preparations for the upcoming elections.
I haven't said no, but I'm afraid to because I might get killed. I am seen as the main enemy because we do politics based on policies. We do not steal and we do not commit murder. Firstly, I am against the theory of all Bandaranayakas. Snatching political time will be forever against nepotism.
උකුස්සයි කතාව හරියට මේ අපි කොහෙද ලොකු දුර ගමනක් යනකොට මොකක් හරි ලොකු බරක් ඇති වුණාම මහපාරේ බර හැල්ලු කරලා ඊට පස්සේ මේ පිහිද ගන්න උසහ හොද ගන්න වතුර හොයනවා වගේ වැඩක් නේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂ
The SLFP should know their place in the alliance. If you will not identify your value, Maithripala Sirisena will be met with the same fate of the eagle.
මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මහත්තයා අර මහපාරේ මේ වැඩේ හැල්ලු කරලා ඊට පස්සේ හොදන්න පියදන්න ආම්පණි වගේ වැඩක්. මිනිස්සු අතර වෛරය වපුරලා
Maithripala Sirisena was made president by spreading hatred among the people. Then the country was led to the brink of destruction by Ranil and his clan. When the SLFP proposed to contest the general election back then, if you can remember, Maithripala Sirisena said that he will not make Mahinda Rajapaksa the Prime Minister even if he wins. He said that Ranil Wickremesinghe will be made Prime Minister. Can you remember what Maithripala Sirisena said? The same person who asked for nominations from the flower bud. He said that we will be stranded on the road. Look how karma works. That same person is now attempting to contest the general election from the Polonnaruwa district from our party. I have zero trust towards that man.
පොළොන්නරුවේ තන්දි ඉල්ලන්න අහනවා. මම නම් සත පහකට අදත් ওই මනුස්සයා විශ්වාස කරන්නේ නැහැ.
Only 12 candidates from the Galle district can contest the election. As of now, we have received information that there are 3 candidates from the SLFP. Then the Sama Samaja Party and the Communist Party will also contest. Vimal Veeravansa also contest. As the Galle faction of the SLPP, we are of the stance that nominations must be given to the people who were with us since the beginning. We are fighting to achieve that without a doubt. The Galle district has come to a crucial juncture in the event of forming the nominations. We ask from the people, from our electorates and in our district, to accept this trend of politics. Please understand and accept the new ways of politics. If you don't agree with it, then that will be the beginning of the losing game you are playing in politics. There are some people who said we will be stranded on the road if we form a new party, but we are happy seeing them walking with us on the road together. Recently, an eagle also flew by. Apparently, that eagle only roams around Polonnaruwa. I don't know any of that. I only tell you what I see on the television because we have no ties with eagles. On one side, Maithripala Sirisena is being attacked. On the other side, the SLFP is being attacked. We have not said a word. It is SLPP leaders of small towns who are carrying out these attacks. The president should put an end to this, but they don't talk about these things. But remember, if they don't put an end to this, the government that will be formed would be unstable. They are trying to implement a program to demoralize the SLFP candidates and defeat them at the election. It looks as if this is being carried out by grassroots level leaders of the SLPP and not the leaders of the party.
Former parliamentarian Ruwan Wijewardene addressed a media briefing at the UNP headquarters in Sitikota today.
Two practical problems arose this time. They are the constitution and the symbol. According to the party's constitution, members of another party cannot obtain membership. That is one problem. The other problem is the symbol. If the symbol of the elephant is given to the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, then the UNP cannot contest under that symbol for 5 years. SAJITH Premadasa is a young leader. Several of our young politicians are on his side. We do not have any need to fight with them. We should unite. We haven't closed the doors of the UNP for SAJITH Premadasa. We will continuously hold discussions to resolve this problem. I feel that this issue would be resolved before the nomination list is prepared. If we can resolve both these problems through discussions, we can move forward together without any issue. If we divide ourselves, then we will have to contest the elections as two separate political forces. There is an advantage for us in that. We can unite after the election. That will happen.
The legal issues that have been brought forward against the Samagi Jana Balawegaya is a blatant lie. It is the government that wants to break the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. The message that we receive from the public is that for us to get together and defeat this government, it is the unity that matters at this point than the symbol. We have also got the news that they are ready to let go of the swan symbol without any condition. Therefore, we hope that that wish would come true. We would like to tell Ranil Wickremesinghe to give his support to this alliance that was brought about amidst a lot of difficulty. People are waiting until we make peace. It is very clear that when the thieves are not being taken in for Sajith Premadasa's list, the other list is trying to send the thieves back to Parliament. We would like to tell the UNP and Ranil Wickremesinghe to try and get together if possible this time around. If you can't join, then don't ever think that this alliance led by Sajith Premadasa will be inconvenienced. A decision has been taken to make him the Prime Minister of this country. Why are they doing these things and pulling the leg? Or are they carrying out someone else's agenda?
Now, the political party crisis is still a hot topic that has gained a lot of discussion and debate in the public. And among this is the continuous power struggle between the United National Party and the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. So earlier we aired the views expressed by Vasantha Samarasinghe in relation to the bond scam, which will undoubtedly have an impact on the United National Party. So in order to make some sense of what's going on, we here at News First have broken down the representation of each electoral district for your ease. So starting off with the Gampaha district, it will be represented by Harshana Rajakaruna, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, Ranjan Ramanayaka and Edward Gunasekara. Also moving on to the Colombo electoral district. So yes, the Colombo electoral district will be represented by Sujeeva Senasinghe, Harsha De Silva, Eran Vikramaratne, Hirunika Premachandra and Patali Champika Ranavaka. Also in the Kalutara electoral district, it will be represented by Ajit P. Pereira. Now moving on to the Polonnaruwa electoral district, it will be represented by Sydney Jayaratne and Nalaka Kolonne. In the Anuradhapura electoral district, it will be represented by Chandrani Bandara, Ishaq Rahman and Chandima Gamage. Moving on to the Kegal district, it will be represented for the party of the Jatika Jana Balawegaya. Now the Kegal district will be represented by Kabir Hashim, Sujit Sanjaya and Tusita Vijay Mona. Now in the Ratnapura district, the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya will be represented by Hesha Vithanage, Thalata Athakorala and Karu Paranavithana. Moving on to the Kandy electoral district, it will be represented by Lakshman Kiryala, Rauf Hakim, AHM Halim and Lucky Wijewardene. That's not all. Moving on to the Nuwara electoral district, the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya will be represented by P. Digambaram and Radha Krishnan. Also moving on to the Mathale district representing the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya, which is in support of SAJITH Premadasa. It will be represented by Vasanta Aluvihare and Ranjit Aluvihare. Also in the Puttalam district, it will be represented by Hector Appuhami and Niroshan Pereira. Moving on to the Kurunegala electoral district, it will be represented by Ashok Abhay Singha, Indika Bandaranaike, Tushara Indunil and J.C. Alavathuala. Also moving on to the Digamadulla electoral district, which is in support of Sajith Premadasa and the party he leads, which is the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya. So the Digamadulla electoral district will be represented by Faisal Qasim, H.M. Haris and Muhammad Mansoor. Moving on to the Gaul electoral district, the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya, represented by Sajith Premadasa and headed by Sajith Premadasa, will be headed by Gayantha Karunathilaka, Manusha Nanakara and Bandulal Bandari Goda. Moving on to the Mathara electoral district. Now this again will be represented by Mangala Samaravira and Buddhika Patirana. Now the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya will be represented once again in the Hambantota electoral district by Dilip Vedarachi and Sajith Premadasa. Moving on to the Badulla electoral district, this will be represented by Harin Fernando, Ravi Samaravira, Chaminda Vijay Siri, Aravinda Kumar and Vadivel Suresh. Also moving on to the Monaragala electoral district, Ranjit Madhuma Bandara and Ananda Kumara Siri will be representing the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya, that will be headed by Sajith Premadasa. Moving on to the Batiklo electoral district, this will be represented by Amir Ali. Now lastly, the Trincomalee electoral district will be represented for the party of the Jatika Samagi Janabalawegaya. It will be represented by Muhammad Mansoor and Imran Maharuf. Now as you can see, a majority of the support is with Sajith Premadasa, and what's interesting is that the people who are behind Sajith Premadasa are the so-called clean politicians who have sort of shown their unfettered and unwavering support through the United National Party, through thick and thin. However, if you look at the United National Party, those who support the leadership of the United National Party are the politicians who in fact switch sides for their own personal gain and undue advantage. So all I can say is that the general elections are upcoming. We are 1.5 months away from the 25th of April. So it is our job to help you decide on the right fit and the correct candidate that you need to send to Parliament. After all, they will be the voices of our hopes, our dreams and futures. So like I mentioned before, those heading or supporting the leadership of the UNP for the likes of Karu Jayasuriya or Navin Dissanayake are the examples of people who switch sides for their own gain or for their own political advantage. So like I said, our hopes, our dreams and our futures are in the hands of the people we vote, the people we go to the polls and put a cross on the 25th of April. So think smart and vote right.
An election is at hand. Do not allow the corrupt, the fraudsters, thugs, drug and alcohol smugglers to be your representative. Think before you vote. It is your decision.
Moving on to another one of our headline-making stories, visitors of South Korea, Iran and Italy will be sent to 2 quarantine centers in Bataclan upon arrival in the country. Meanwhile, the number of affected patients due to the coronavirus has exceeded 100,000, while the number of deaths stands at 3,480.
මඩකලපුව පෞද්ගලික විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයත්
Steps will be taken to use the Batiklo campus as a quarantine facility. Those arriving from these countries will be taken to this facility from the airport by the army. Attention should be paid while taking these individuals and placing them at these centers. It could be difficult to curb the spread of the virus if it enters our country. Therefore, we will have to take steps to restrict entry to our country. A person in Avissavella has volunteered to hand over his hotel as a quarantine facility. At the same time, a woman in the southern region has expressed willingness to offer a land area for this purpose. We are very proud of these individuals.
මේ ජනතාව ගැන රටේ සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය පිළිබඳව සලකන අය සිටීම අපිට ඉතාම ආඩම්බරයට කරුණක්.
Italy's Prime Minister has said at least 16 million people are now under lockdown in Lombardy region and also in 14 provinces until early April. The death toll in Italy has passed 230, with officials reporting more than 50 deaths in 24 hours. The number of confirmed cases jumped by more than 1,200 to 5,883 yesterday. While there is a considerable number of Sri Lankans employed in Italy, it has been confirmed that one woman has been affected by the virus.
I am currently in the Parma city of Italy. Yesterday, the Italian government decided to place 16 cities on lockdown. Among them are Lombardy, Milano, Varese, Lodi, Monza, Brescia and Parma, which are considered the heart of Italy. This is because the coronavirus is spreading rapidly in Italy. We have been told that around 50,000 Sri Lankans are residing in this country. There is a drop in the daily activities of the people. People can be seen purchasing many items from supermarkets.
The manner in which several cities in Italy have been deserted was visible. During a wedding ceremony in Italy yesterday, none of the invitees were present except for a few family members of the couple. Meanwhile, the number of coronavirus cases in South Korea has risen to 7,000, while the number of deaths stand at 46. An emergency situation has been declared in New York, America, as the number of coronavirus patients had doubled. 19 people have died in the US due to the coronavirus, while 3,097 people have died due to the virus in China. 4 people died after a quarantine facility in Guangzhou had collapsed.
Up next is a look at your sports roundup.
Sri Lankan bodybuilder Lucius Pushparaj became 4th in the IFBB Arnold Classics contest that was held in the US. A training camp organised by the Manchester Football Academy was held at the racecourse grounds in Colombo. The camp was attended by upcoming players in the academy. Senior football coach Augustine George is the chairman of the Football Academy. The Lanka Paragliding Festival was held for the first time near Kalabokka mountain range today. Newsfirst and Sportsfirst are the media sponsors of the event. The event, which saw the participation of local and foreign competitors, was held in the bid to promote paragliding and the tourism industry. The Ruwan paragliding team and the Gafik Lanka Foundation provided technical support to the project. The second day of the event will be held near the Riveston Mountains.
Ananda College managed to retain the trophy once again at the 91st Battle of the Maroons held in Sinhalese Sports Club grounds today.
Ananda College managed to retain the trophy once again for the 17th time after their last victory in 2003. At the end of Ananda's first innings, Nalanda managed to bowl them out for just 150 runs in 51 overs. Netma Karuna Ratna scored 59 runs while Hansa Jayasinghe contributed to the total with 26 runs. Meanwhile, Jitesh Wasala picked up 5 wickets for 63 runs for Nalanda. Nalanda decided to put Ananda once again on the field to play their second innings with the hope of securing their victory after 67 long years. However, at the end of the day, Ananda playing their second innings scored 225 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 69 overs. Hansa Jayasinghe was 89 unbeaten, while Avishka Pereira picked up 2 wickets for 16 runs for Nalanda.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka, together with Asaniya Thauda and our interpreter tonight, Taraka Gabriel.
Before we leave you tonight, Australia became champions of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup 2020 today as they beat India by 85 runs in Melbourne. On Women's Day, we leave you tonight with the mighty women of Australia celebrating their victory before a record 86,000 spectators. Good night.